It's time now for the Premier Podcast, the official real estate video podcast of Premier Realty Group of West Tennessee. We have 3 offices to serve you in McKenzie, Paris, and Huntingdon. Online at prealtygroup.com. Now, let's get started with today's Premier Podcast.
Welcome back to the Premier Realty Group video podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Green, the marketing director for Premier Realty Group. My co-host is our principal broker in the Paris office, Garry Wicker. How are you, sir?
Good, Kelly. How are you?
Doing well. We got a good guest today.
We do.
He's one of our friends, good guy, Ed Frazier. He is the inspector, Property Inspection Services. Ed, sir, how are you?
Doing great today. How about y'all? Everybody doing all right?
Doing well. We're going to delve into the inspection process, which is really a crucial process in buying a home.
Yes, absolutely. One of the more important things that we have done. In fact, when we sit down with clients, that's usually one of the first things that we say. You get your financing, find a house, get a home inspection.
And I guess the whole process typically starts with the purchase and sale agreement. When that is signed, it's time to call you, correct?
That is correct, sir. Once all that paperwork's signed, ready to go, they give me a call. We'll set up an appointment as quickly as possible because you're time crunched with most time, about 10 days to get an inspection done.
Talk about the scope of an inspection. What does it cover, and what are some things it doesn't cover?
Well, the scopes of the inspections fall under the INTI standards, which is International Association of Certified Home Inspectors, which basically what it is we check everything from going across the roof, checking all the electrical, taking the panel down, make sure that everything's good to go inside the electrical panel, no double lugging, and then we go underneath the house to make sure that everything is good there. We're a fact-based company. We're mostly concerned about structure and safety. Cosmetic, not so much. Cosmetic is important, but most people see that when they come through the home to start with. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to tell you need to fix some nail holes in the walls or things. Most of the time I tell people it's like the Mona Lisa when it comes to cosmetics. Some people think she's beautiful. I personally do not. So
okay.
So that's what I say from it. But we look to make sure that the floor joists aren't deteriorated or rotted out. Make sure that you can't swim underneath the house. Yeah. We've seen some strange things over the years. I've seen a 36-inch, 25-foot deep open well under a home before. So we just look for things like that the homeowner would need to know to help make an informed decision on their purchase.
And I'm sure you go on the roof as well, right?
Absolutely. We walk every roof that we can go up. If it's too steep, we have a drone system we use to check them out. The shingles and everything. You look at that, and the roof on a home is one of the most expensive things you can look at replacing. So we look for everything from hail damage to tabs missing to just anything that may be associated, to include around what's called a cricket around the chimneys and stuff. So we want to make sure none of that's leaking and anything that can be costly.
Good idea or bad idea for the buyers to be present when you're doing the inspection?
Different home inspectors have different likes and different decisions or opinions on that. It does add to the time that it takes to do a home inspection if the homeowner's there. I personally like them to be there because that way if there's an issue we can address it right then and there. There's no misunderstanding because what you read in a report, the saying a picture's worth 1,000 words. If you're standing there looking at it, then we can really get into a lot better detail.
Yeah. What about pricing? Is it based on square footage? Is it one price per home? How does it work?
Pricing is generally based off the square footage of the home, and the average home inspector average home inspection in this area costs around $300, and that most of the time you go up to 1,500 square foot is one price, 1,500 to 2,500 it goes up $50, and then so on and so forth till you get to the larger houses. The largest one we've done so far was a little over 14,000 square foot home.
Wow. Our owner, Susan Bradbury, the Premier Realty Group owner, you and I were talking with her last week, and I'll throw this on Garry because he hadn't heard about this. She said, and Ed agreed, that there ought to be a pre-inspection. When a seller puts a home on the market, it might be a good idea to get it pre-inspected before you even throw it out there.
In fact, I've got a home right now that's on the market. We actually got a contract on it a couple of months ago and fell through based on the home inspection. And what the homeowner wanted at that time was to come back and get another inspector for themselves and do their own inspection. And it's one of those things that it's kind of new for us. We don't do it a whole lot, but it's a great idea to go ahead and have that home inspection and done on the front end then.
Is that something that happens very often on your end?
It's not very often that happens. Right now we're in a seller's market, so people there's more than one buyer running around, but at times we've become a buyer's market. And if you have your home on the market and it's continued to the home inspection, you're not liable to get another buyer back for some time. So it's extremely important to look at the pre-sale inspections, because that way any items that there may be that the home inspector identifies can be addressed, repaired prior to a potential buyer coming in. We do have we now have a pre-sale inspection checklist that we're using that is different than the standard home inspection checklist, for the sole purpose of is we don't have to do such an extreme inspection that you would on a purchase one as you would on a sale. So we're looking at safety and structure there again. Anything that would, for lack of better words, kill the sale of a home inspection. There is no pass or fail of a home inspection. There's just identifying items that need improvement.
Right.
And I guess it's not something that you necessarily have to do, or is that something in the rules and regulations that must be done by the buyer?
Home inspection?
Yes.
No, we as agents are required to either get them a disclosure that says that they either wanted a home inspection or not, but we always recommend it. Again, that just keeps the liability off of us. It puts it back on. Sorry, it puts it on the home inspector himself to what he may or may not find then. But it's always great for the buyer, because then they know what they're looking at as far as any repairs. And it will tell you, when he breaks down his inspection, once it's finalized, the report comes back with things that need to be addressed and things that could possibly be addressed later on.
Let me ask you both this question. If the seller does a pre-inspection, does the buyer still need to do an inspection?
I would say yes. I would say, and still that's up to them to do that. Now, Ed can talk to this. He's the expert here. There are some pre-warranties out there with some of the inspections. They cover a few things going in, but a lot of times what I see with those, and I know that there are some home inspectors that offer them. There are some companies, home warranty companies, that are offering them. A lot of times they die at the point of sale. So that would be a better question for Ed.
Yeah, really on the pre-sale, on your on having everything inspected on the pre-sale, it really does end there, because just because we identify those items that need to be corrected doesn't mean that the homeowner had them corrected, or a lot of times the seller will hire their friend, buddy, the cheapest person they could find, for lack of better words, to come do the repairs, and they're substandard repairs. And when those repairs are identified later on by the buyer's home inspection, then it causes even greater issues. So what we do on our offers and everything is, once we do on the pre-sale inspections, we don't offer this, but on the buyer's inspection, we will come back at no cost to the buyer and re-inspect the items that were identified and corrected to ensure that they're safe prior to closing.
Gotcha.
So that's...
I'm sure you see all kinds of things when you crawl under a house, when you inspect a house. Do you have a story or two you can throw on us that we have to hear to believe?
We do, but let me back up on the inspections again, though, on the importance of it. In this area, we have a lot of retirement people that have moved in, and after they no longer need the home, they've moved back home with family, or they've passed away, then the disclosures on that home is not really well known. So you have people coming in, they're buying a home, the realtors don't know of anything that's wrong with it. The people that knew everything about it have moved on or passed away. So that's where it's also very important in that case. I've done a house here recently where the people had passed away. The realtors didn't know anything about the house. Nobody knew anything. When we did the home inspection of the house looked great. We did the home inspection. When we got into the attic, it had a major fire that had never been repaired in the attic, and the attic was structurally unsound. And those disclosures, the lady that was doing the buy, it was a cash sale. She had no idea.
Right.
And once that was discovered, then that sale ended immediately. And so that's one of the main reasons why it's important, because the demographics in this area.
Right. That's a great point. That is a great point.
And I guess even though you said it's not a pass or fail inspection, to the buyer, that home failed the inspection.
That home failed the inspection. She was extremely unhappy about that time.
Right. Yeah.
But on those lines, and then you talk about funny things that have happened. We've been doing this a long time, and I usually tell them myself if I make a mistake or things of that nature. But on the lighter side of the inspections, I've done one here recently. Went to the house. The house was approximately 100 years old. I do my research on the homes before I get there, see the age, see the different, look at the pictures that supplied on the realtor sites. This one had no pictures of the inside, just pictures of the outside. And I show up this home, and the realtor lets me in, and she says, I'm leaving. I was like, would you like to come in? She says, no, I'm not going in this house. And I was like, why? And she says, it scares me. So I'm thinking, okay, we got a haunted house here.
Right.
And, I'm sitting there going, I'm a big, bad military dude. I ain't worried about this. I'm going to go on up in there. Well, I walked through the door of that house. She left. And it's raining hard, storm going on. I walked through that door, and just the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I went right back outside.
What?
And I was sitting there going, no, mind's playing tricks on you
Right.
and stuff. So I do what every man would do. I call my best friend. His name's Doc. I'm like, hey, Doc, man, I'm at this house, and, this is a little weird. And, of course, he done what every best friend would do. He says, do you need to borrow my man card? So I was like, okay, I got this. So I go back in the house. About that time, I heard the pipes. You could hear some banging going on, and then water, I kid you not, water comes spraying out of the kitchen sink. Well, I'm back outside, back on the phone with my buddy. He still mentioned something about man card and a few other little things. So I go back in, and I do the home inspection, and what it turned out to be is it'd been raining really hard, and there was a sump pump down in the basement. Well, they tied the sump pump into the sink drain, so every time the sump pump kicked on,
Oh my gosh.
the pipes moved around, and then the water would blow out.
Oh my
the sink.
gosh.
Did the former owner tie the sump pump into the sink drains, or did ghosts do that?
Well, we don't know who done it. The realtor, to my knowledge, never went in the house. And,
Oh my.
So it was a real fun inspection.
Right.
It didn't take very long.
That's got to be one of the best home inspection stories I've heard.
Oh, it did. I was sitting, the hair was standing up. I was like, oh, this is not happening.
And the agent wanted nothing to do with that house.
Yeah, they left because they had been showing up, and they heard the pipes banging
Right.
and everything else, so nobody wanted to go in, and it was kind of, like I say, the mind plays tricks on you, and that one kind of got me.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like I say, everybody's got to have a best friend to call to encourage you.
Right. Instead of saying, hey, I'll be right over, we'll check it out together as best friends,
Yeah.
he just wanted to revoke your man card.
That's it. Just I was going to have to turn it in. Of course, he put me on speakerphone, but the second time
Yeah,
I called.
there you go.
That's what every best friend does.
Exactly. We're talking with Ed Frazier, the inspector, Property Inspection Services. Best way to reach you, 731-336-0698.
Yes, sir. You can reach me at that, or we're on Facebook under the Inspector LLC. Our website's WTN Home Inspector, and our email is WTNHomeInspector@gmail.com.
All right, we'll put all that on your screen so you can get all that information. Any more questions for Ed Frazier?
I don't have any at this point. Yeah, Ed's one of our more frequent, let's say, home inspectors that drops by every once in a while. We love to have him come in. He's always got a great personality when he comes in, spends time with us. Usually finds us about time of our sales meeting. So he's usually in around one of our sales meetings and hangs out for a while. So
Right.
great guy.
That's it. I'm going to start bringing donuts for too
There
long.
you go.
Before too long.
Before too long. Well, I can't get them past Tammy at the front. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all letting me come in and speak of it. And if anybody has any questions on home inspections or any pre-sale, pre-purchase, just give us a call. I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody about anything going on, kind of set their mind at ease and give them a peace of mind. Because the home inspector's job is basically to help you make an
Right.
informed decision,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so important.
Yep.
You got it. Again, 731-336-0698 or WTNHomeInspector.com. Ed Frazier, the inspector, Property Inspection Services. Thanks for being on, sir.
Thank you, sir.